Good morning and welcome to Natasha Makes. I have an impishly misbehaving person in the corner. No
Hello.
prizes for guessing. Oh, look, he can't even stay quiet for a second. Hello, he says. It's that John Cole Morgan, you know. He's terribly naughty. Terribly naughty.
She won't let me do what I want to do.
No, there are many naughty things you want to do. You were sat with my handbag at your feet, which
And I'm looking around
naturally makes me
Natasha's desk
nervous.
trying to figure out what to put in it.
He's terrible for putting rubbish in my bag. I don't know. How are we all?
Don't say the things on Natasha's desk are rubbish. There's lots of lovely things on Natasha's desk.
There are lots of lovely things. There are also various things that you could throw in there just for fun, John, I'm sure.
That gift hasn't been unwrapped yet.
Oh, is there a gift? No.
No,
Don't misbehave now.
Right,
Don't
back.
misbehave.
Hello, we are back here to entertain you on a bank holiday Monday.
Exactly, and it is Bank Holiday Monday for you. For us, it is not. So, Bank
It is
Holiday
Monday.
Well, it's Monday.
It's
But it's
Monday.
not Bank Holiday Monday. We're pre-recording this show so that you don't have to be without us, but we can still have a lovely Bank Holiday Monday of rest. So I'll be in a field at a festival. I'm sure Natasha will be off with the children. We're actually having a day off. But that doesn't mean we've forgotten you. Absolutely not. So we have today lovely John Cole Morgan, who's going to take us through this rather fabulous hot cave quilt. Just noticed a thread, John. Look, just
Don't pull it,
Yeah.
it'll fall apart.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It was
It's
a
the
loose
one
thread.
thread holding it all together.
It was a loose thread. I feel there's one thread holding me together today. I'm so tired, but you're more tired than me
I
because
won't
it is
deny, yes.
actually in real life when we're recording. It's the day after Festival of Quilts, isn't it?
Yes,
So you've
it
done
is.
4 days of trudging around festival. 5 days. Of
83,000 steps in 5 days, and I normally do about 1,000.
Okay,
And I can assure you, I am very much looking forward to getting my feet up.
bless you. Well, thank you very much because you're going to stand on those
I can't
feet
wait, I can't
a
wait.
while longer. So, John, you made this beautiful quilt a while ago.
A little while ago, yes, but what I love about this quilt is it is phenomenally quick to put together.
Great.
And it highlights the fabric so beautifully, and who else could you use but that their fabulous Cave Facet Collective?
Exactly, and you've called it hot cave,
I
haven't
have,
you?
'cause it's
For that
hot and it's
reason.
cave.
And it's cave. Just
But
to
literally the
confuse
whole
matters,
quilt on average normally takes me about an hour and a half to put the whole quilt together on with the borders and binding and everything.
Amazing.
Cutting this out and prepping the bits for today, I think it took about 45 minutes.
Really fast.
45 minutes to
Really
do.
fast.
It's
So
really, really
This
easy.
is a speedy quilt.
Very much. And you can take your time and you can physically lay everything out and
Yeah.
put it in the right places. But I think Cave's fabrics work really well where you do actually mix everything up and you have got those solid colours in there. And it just highlights those beautiful tones that he uses in all those
does.
beautiful designs.
And the great thing is as well, you've got lovely big spaces to make the feature of those big prints, but you've also got plenty of room if you want to have a play with your free motion quilting,
Exactly.
all sorts of things. We'll talk about it in
Exactly.
a little while. But before we do that, just to let you know that we haven't forgotten you, we are here. SJ has also got some little deals going on for you. So if you pop over to our website, you'll find those. Now, for those of you who are new to us, welcome. I'm not Natasha. She is much taller than me, and she will be back in front of you very, very soon. However, we have natashamakes.com, our website, and if you go onto that website and click at the top, there's a tab that says Watch Live. Scroll down, click another button that says View All. You will see the products that John and I talk about today. I think that covers it, doesn't
I
it?
completely agree.
Yeah,
Completely
marvellous.
agree.
We also have some fantastic deals on. Like I say, SJ has been busy, and the most recent K Facet Collective collection, so that was February, wasn't it, in
February
the end?
22, yeah.
22. There are some crazy 20% off deals on those fabrics.
What?
Better not having this. I know.
Why? No.
Better not have this binging.
I haven't been to look. No.
I know.
I'm going to get that there and get to take me for
You're going to want to pre-shop. If there's any fabric left, there'll be a 20% deal off those fabrics.
20%?
For
That's a lot.
today. It's huge.
I can tell Natasha's on
Huge.
holiday. She's not here. You can tell. Gemma's in charge.
Just for today. We have 2 fabric kits as well that we'll take you through, and there will be some other offers too. So you just go onto the Watch Live page, scroll your way down, and you will see all the naughty shenanigans that myself and SJ have programmed in, ready for today, because Tasha's having a day off. It's what we do, John.
It's fine.
It's what we do. I'd like to invite you up. I'm going to go into overhead so people don't have to see the back of your head.
Makes
and then we
sense,
can
yes.
start showing the
They
beautiful
also don't
fabric
have to see
bundles
me hobble up.
as well. So if I
Am I safe?
hobble from your walking around festival. Oh, John, so as much as this is a hot cave quilt, we have done 2 colourways
We've got
of
to.
the hot cave quilt. We've done a hot colourway and a cool
colourway,
colourway.
yeah. But we
of
were
the
toying
hot
with doing it as
cave
summer
quilt.
and winter, weren't we? But I think
Yes.
we've left it was this is the hot colourway. So the
Absolutely.
colourway on the wall behind was an old colourway that I did as a sample to make the pattern.
Yes.
But this, oh my goodness, these colours are so beautiful.
They are beautiful, aren't they?
They're really beautiful. So you've got your
Gorgeous.
12 fat quarters over here, which is what you're going to use to make the centre of your quilt.
Yes.
And then this gorgeous green is going to be your thin border around your main centre section. And then the gorgeous jumble over, it is jumble, isn't it?
Yes.
Gorgeous jumble over here will be your outer border.
Yes.
And that is what you're going to be able to use to make all your quilts.
So this is our jumble lapis. So that's gorgeous, isn't it?
And if
Love
I'm not
that.
wrong, the other one's sea foam, isn't
Yes.
it? Oh, I am
Yes,
paying
yes,
attention
yes,
today.
You are paying
Yay.
attention. And
But
then
these
we
fat
have
quarters,
these.
I know
Look
you've
at
fanned
this.
them so beautifully, but
Yes.
what I love with all of Kate's colours is when you put that there, you can see how beautifully this colour now pops with the green.
does.
And I'm just going to move it back.
Yep.
But then you can just tell how it comes to life with that gorgeous green around it. This zings out there. And all of these colours that we've got, when you put them with the solids, it just pops that colour out so beautifully. That green comes a little bit more to life, I think, when you do that.
It does, for sure.
I'm trying to keep this in your
Well, then
order
you've got,
settle
that's
stand.
all right. And then you've got these lovely orangey tones through as well that come in here.
Tie in everywhere.
The plains that we've used, they are our 100% cotton plain collection, our 100% beautiful cotton plain
Very
collection.
beautiful.
But we have 4 there for you as well. So you've got 12 cave fat quarters. And let's just...
8K fat
Sorry,
quarters.
12 fat quarters total, isn't it? 8
Yes.
cave, 4 plain. You're quite right, John. Look at these. I do love this one, you know.
I love that.
Love a bit of cactus flower.
And what I
isn't it,
love
that
about
one?
this pattern, and the reason I went for a slightly thicker, because I tried this and I did it a few times, and the reason I went with a slightly thicker rectangle is because when you get a beautiful, beautiful colourway like this or fabric like this, you've got that gap that you can actually then get a whole chunk of the fish in, because there's nothing worse than getting a beautiful pattern that you love
Oh, and having
the
to
scales
chop it
ever so
up.
slightly wrong. It doesn't
Having
work
to chop
quite
it
as
up,
well.
it doesn't. It's a shame, isn't it?
It's gorgeous.
And then, of course, this is another lovely big print, isn't it? I'm going
Gorgeous.
to unravel this
I
one.
keep on. Is that a banana,
Banana
leaf? It is a banana leaf.
Tree, and you always want to call it banana leaf because you see the leaf, but it's
beautiful.
banana tree, and we always call it banana leaf. It's banana tree. It's beautiful.
But it'll be something silly like banana tree yellow or green.
There's always a
colours
colour in there, and you say, "Pardon, Cave, pardon." But
Sorry,
who
say
are
what
we?
now?
Who are we?
Oh, we never
to
question the genius
question a
of him.
genius. No, exactly. And the plains that we've got here, we've got our hot tomato. I love that colour. I'd say it's darker and richer than it's showing on my screen. As to how it displays on yours, we never
Oranges and
can
reds
be
always
sure.
struggle on the computers
Yeah.
converting.
Oh, as well as like Cadbury purple, impossible, impossible. This one here is our corn yellow.
Oh, I love this one.
The colour of this is beautiful, isn't it? This is pomegranate. It's got that real raspberry tone to it, hasn't it?
It does.
Just lovely. And then sky.
Got to be done.
Can't go wrong with a bit of sky.
No,
So that is bundle number 1.
that's our hot bundle for Hot Cave. I'm not even going to attempt to help because I know I will do something
I've tried my
catastrophically
best
wrong.
to display these
No, you've done brilliantly.
beautifully.
Oh,
Trying.
you've got it back perfectly.
I'm trying, John. I'm trying.
No
I'm
doubt
trying.
I will knock it over at
You
some
need to
point.
put your hand in front of the camera or something, look, because at the moment there's nothing going on the screen. I know.
If I was allowed to get up to my shenanigans, I could have entertained our guests with that.
Oh, John, he's been playing with a balloon wand all morning.
Emily left it, so it was meant to be for me. I know it was.
Yeah, just know it was. And this is our alternative colourway. So this is the cool bundle, isn't it, John?
It is indeed.
And this is what you have prepared.
So
your
this is just a
sample in.
small sample.
So should we just go, actually?
This is just a small
wide
section of the
shot.
sample. You can see how well they go together with all those colours. This is a small
Beautiful.
bit. We are hopefully going to finish this quilt in today. This is the larger section.
You've not
of
been
it.
here long already.
No, literally, this was
You've
40
whipped
minutes.
this up in less than an hour.
And that was the cutting as well. And I lost the salvage ends as well, because you know how I love a salvage. Do you know my favourite thing at festival?
Oh,
One of the
okay.
most amazing, one of your customers
Yeah.
came up with a bag of salvages for
Oh,
me.
did she?
And I was so touched. They were so lovely. And
Oh.
unfortunately, I've forgotten her name.
They know
Which
you
is
love a
such
salvage.
a lovely, lovely, lovely thing to do.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So there we go. So this is 2/3 of the inside done.
So they're
Just
a
to give
good
you an
bunch,
idea
Charlotte.
of what this looks like with all of these.
They're a good bunch, Charlotte. How lovely is that?
Isn't it wonderful?
That's so sweet. John does love a salvage. For those who are thinking,
Indeed.
what? What? Say what?
They're all looking, say what
So
now?
you've prepped your top using this bundle.
I did.
And then we have these to go around the
borders.
borders. So we have our narrow border, John,
We do.
in our orange.
Bright orange gorgeousness.
Lovely.
And look,
And yes.
look how perfect.
It
And
pops.
look how perfect.
Exactly.
They just tie in so brilliantly
Beautiful.
with
And
that.
a bit of contrast there, which Kate loves a bit of contrast.
It's got to be done.
Loves a bit of contrast. And then we have here our jumble seafoam as well, which is your wider border.
It is indeed.
Okay. Well, let's have a little. I still think we need
I
to have
think
a
we're
little
wrong
look,
not
don't
to,
we?
really.
These are just beautiful.
Little pop of pink in the middle there.
Really lovely. It's that beautiful coral tone, isn't it? Gorgeous. So again, you've got 8 Cafe Fat Quarters, Cafe Facet Collective Quarters, I should say. It's very important because we have Philip and Brandon. Let's not forget them also. And then you have your 4 planes as well that we've chosen to complement. And the ones that we've chosen for this bundle are lavender, magenta, cyan,
Emerald.
and emerald.
A new one.
Beautiful.
I need 2. But these are gorgeous.
These
This fact, can I just
rainbows.
flick that round
Yeah,
so that people
it's
can see the
lovely.
beautiful colourway of this? It's so gorgeous.
Really lovely.
Sorry to mess up
And
your
again,
order.
that picks up some orange. It's great, isn't it?
And that's what I love about K Fabrics is when you look at a tiny little section like
Yeah.
this, when you unfold it, it just kind of reveals this hidden secret of beautifulness behind
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, look at that gorgeous little blue flower there. Sorry, I'm
There's
messing
so
with
much
your
there,
order
isn't there? But you've got lovely space on your quilt
Exactly.
pattern to show these off.
And the reason I'm really, because being a quilter myself, I do find K fabrics are amazing. But what sometimes happens is when you pick a really intense, big quilting design, sometimes they don't show up quite as nicely on K's fabrics as they do on solids, which is another reason why I wanted to have solids in there. So when you are doing the quilting side of things, you've got that wonderful way of being able to then just let that colour pop, the quilting to pop out through your solids, and you haven't got it playing with those gorgeous prints from Kay.
Absolutely. And it's such a horrible, horrible shape. In fact, you know, while we're talking about Kate, I'm going to give you
Shall I
this
do that?
to have a look
Oh,
as well.
I love
It's
this.
such a shame to chop up such
Well, can I
beautiful
go one
fabric
step
into
ahead of you?
small
Because I know you've got this on the website as well. This DVD that Kaif has done is wonderful, really special. It's not showing very well on there, but you can tell that DVD, it is a really special, special performance by him, produced by Brandon Mabley, an amazing, amazing wealth of information in this gorgeous DVD. So make sure you do check that out if you haven't already. Sorry, Gemma.
We have a
cut you off on the web.
handful of those left.
Well, they're so popular, you can
Sure.
barely get them.
No, we rediscovered it
Good.
in our move.
Good.
So yes.
But this book
Been
is
saving them for an
gorgeous.
occasion.
I love it.
So Quilts in an English Village, just the photography in this book is stunning, isn't it? Shall I go into a close-up, John,
Please.
and then you can hold the book sideways on and have a
Pardon
little
me.
peep at some of this. Oh, along with all your
Oh.
scraps in the background.
Well, there's a reason those are there.
There are, and we will
I'll move them
discuss
there.
further.
So this is the quilt there, the book there, but look at all these beautiful photographs in here. They are just
Just lovely, aren't
stunning.
they?
Look at that quilt in the... I don't think I'm very good at showing
Like,
books
yeah,
on this.
managing. Are we managing?
I'm too scared to bend it, that's why.
All right.
But look at that as photography. Just, you couldn't get more beautiful than that.
No. And I think you see it better on here than you would in the
It looks a bit
overhead.
like Natasha's old house.
It does. It does. It does. We can go
Really
back
does.
onto overhead, but in the interest of you
But
not having
look
to
at
twiddle your
that.
fingers around too much. But it was nice to be able to see, she says, nice to be able to see some close-up images because the quality of the photography is beautiful.
Oh, it's
isn't it?
exquisite. And I just love the simple outside of a log cabin.
Yes.
Just beautiful, showing off these fabrics. They're just so
Over
beautiful.
the railings here. This looks like the bank in my village. It's just lovely.
I do love them.
And I always go
Do you know what
on
I'd like- do you
about
know-
coffee table books.
Exactly. You want
But
a decent...
This is a coffee table book, and You've got these beautiful quilt patterns.
And the patterns are designed. And what I love, what a simple diagrammatical pattern to put it together.
Yes.
I'd
Just
take
amazing.
about 30 pages to write that out.
I know. Simple, yet effective.
Oh, look at that. So incredible.
Beautiful. So all of this in the book. Oh, like I say, everything
These are
from today's
amazing.
collection will be on
Now you
the
have got a
website.
huge amount of cave fabric by the half metre as well.
We
So
have
if you
a
have actually
fair
never
old
made
whack.
a quilt of caves before, being able to make something like that,
Mm-hmm.
buying a couple of half metres, because caves fabrics are so different.
Yes.
And I'm grabbing, not that one, where is it? Where are we talking? I do have a thought process, I promise. I
It's
am
all right.
here.
Not just ruining my display.
That's what I was looking there. But if you got a half metre of this, for example, when you look at how beautiful these all are, you can cut out various sections to make this. And it's one of those ones that you don't actually need as much fabric as you think you will, because the designs are so beautifully done on the fabrics that you're able to cut out multiple different flowers in that design.
It's a lovely fussy cut project, that
It's
one,
a
isn't it?
really good one. And then your
Really
background
lovely.
fabric, virtually any background fabric you choose will work with it.
They've got an Aboriginal dot here,
I
haven't
know,
they? But again,
exactly.
you know, something like a shot cotton or a plain would be beautiful.
But you're one of the few places that have got the Aboriginal dot
You
left.
see? And it's
See?
been going fast. And the reason it's been going fast, John, is when we get to a short quantity on a bolt.
Oh, you could do a bolt
we've been
end sale.
Yeah, bolt end sailing these. So again, keep an eye on the website. If you don't find what you're looking for in today's collection and you're new to our website, you can go to the fabric clearance fabric clearance collection. In there you will find perhaps some fabric by the half metre that we've got at a discount, or you may find a beautiful designer premium fabric that we've just perhaps got a 3 metre piece or a little bit less, and we've put that there as a bolt end.
Because you see, what I hate about the
taking
term
up space.
clearance is you
I know.
automatically assume, oh, it's very old.
No,
But it's not.
no.
It's really beautiful.
For a business like ours, and we are a really, really small business, we need space. So when
Yeah.
our new fabrics are coming in and we've got several cardboard bolts with just less than 3 metres of fabric on them on our shelves,
It's
they're in
time.
the way and they're not enough there to make a show. So for us, we've taken the decision to unbolt them, measure them, label them,
And they're
and
ready
pop
for
them
your...
to one side. When you order those, they are ready to get packed and straight out to you at a fabulous price.
And one thing I found is I started doing the Amaze fabric, which had the
Oh,
graffiti
yes.
of Cave on it. And I did that was the Jenny Jackson
Yeah,
project.
you
And I
did.
started doing that book, Jenny Jackson's book. And I started making this piece, and I'm doing a massive lampshade for my studio. And I started it, and then I thought, oh, this is fine. And then I looked how much fabric I had left, and I was like, ooh. And then I go and look at how much fabric I need, and then realised, oh, I'm probably going to need an extra half metre for that. But I do know myself quite well, which means that although I'll have the lampshade, then more than likely I'm going to want the quilt to go with it.
Yes.
So it's a case of, if you don't get it now,
Yeah.
it won't be in stock anywhere.
and you've
then you're
grabbed
going to
bolt
have to...
ends off us, haven't you? You've had
Exactly.
that fabric.
Shh! My husband watches this. I have never bought fabric from you,
Never,
ever.
No, it was a gift.
Hello,
It was a
husband.
gift. It was
Hello,
a gift,
husband.
Andrew. It was a gift.
A raffle. I won a raffle. What are you
Raffle,
talking?
yes,
I did that the
raffle.
other day, and I said I won a raffle. He said my credit card said you spent £63 to enter that raffle. Maybe we should just stick with the 50p ones.
Oh no! You see, that was your rookie error.
No, he's
using his
amazing.
credit
He's
card.
never once stopped me. So
No, he is good as gold. He is.
But we don't give him any ammunition.
But we have offered that specialist service before, where we've had someone contact us and say, could you post this out to me and just pop a note in to say congratulations on your competition win.
Now, it is a service
we
that is
here-
provided or may not be provided.
Yes, we are very upstanding and honest. However, should you require this specialised service and you want to pop a little note in the notes section of your order, we're very accommodating as well, John.
Just put
We
in the
are
notes
very
there.
accommodating.
Raffle winner. Thanks.
Another thing as well to quickly mention, and again you can view all of this on the website, and there's a lovely red banner at the top of the page that quite often tells you if there's a special deal running. It might have been overtaken by the cave deal for today, so I'm going to mention this anyway, but we have our mystery half metre. If you are spending £50 before you put your postage and packing on, on your contents of your basket, you qualify for a free ½ metre of fabric. All you need to do is go to the mystery ½ metre product, and we normally make sure that's nice and high on the days page under that Watch Live page so you can find it. Add that into your basket. It will show that it's going to charge you £7.95. All you need to make sure you do when you get to checkout is in the discount codes box, put all one word, free ½ metre. And you'll magically see the £7.95, poof, off away it goes.
And that's free half as in written out, H-A-L-F, yeah.
Yes, all one word. If you're in any way unsure that you've done it right or get in a muddle and you can't manage it, then in your notes section say, please can I have my free ½ metre? And one of us will help you out.
Yay!
Okay. It's all going on, isn't
and
it?
raffle winner.
There's deals on Cave, there's new quilt kit.
And DVDs that were lost are now found. Got to be done.
All these things. So I feel like I probably peaked early, John. My work here
But we
is
haven't
done.
mentioned my pattern.
My work
my little
here
pattern.
is done.
So with the
we haven't mentioned your pattern.
I haven't mentioned the pattern, so really simple.
Yes.
We've got these as digital and paper. I will say I personally prefer the paper version because the paper's printed out. Beautiful, it's lovely, gorgeous. So I personally do the paper ones, but you do
But if
what
you're
works best for
international,
you.
this doesn't stop you purchasing from us.
Not at
You know,
all.
you can get John's pattern and you can do that. John,
So-
I might go and skulk in the corner.
No!
Oh, you want me here?
You can, be there. You can be wherever you like, I don't mind.
I'll stay if you
So
wish.
we are going to need 24 of these blocks. Now what I've done is I've cut these blocks totally random. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a little sip of my water.
Oh, I thought you were going to sneeze then.
Nope.
It's normally me. I have to flick the mute button really quickly, let out a fairy sneeze in
Love
the corner.
it. Oh, you've never made a noise. Now, when I cut out my fabrics, I lay my fat quarters down, and I wanted this pattern to be fat quarter friendly. When I did such things, Gemma's been moving everything.
I have, sorry.
Once you are finished cutting it, these are what is left as my 2.5 inch strips. You can use these as multicolored binding. You can do it as a multicolored border. And the only reason this is a bit wobbly is I didn't have a full purple one, is it went a little bit squishy on the end and I was about a quarter of a thing out, and I thought, no, it's fine. But this is my leftovers. That's everything that I had left over, and most of these big bits are salvages. Now, the reason I'm showing you is I know a lot of us want to make sure that we're getting the most out of our fabrics. These big pieces, I probably would keep these for FPP, but the rest of this is salvage and little bits of scrap. So you can see that's a salvage. That is all I've got left from my 12 fat quarters. That is
It's
it.
a bit of stuffing, John. That's what that
Well, that's
is.
what that's
That
what I
can
did,
go
is to bring it
in the
here.
beautiful stuffing
But
box.
I've just seen a salvage, so I'll take that one for you.
We
Because
have a
I think
stuffing
it's-
box.
It's always good to know what you're going to have left over. This is not enough to bind your quilts, but it is enough to, whatever colour you choose to bind your quilt in, you can just add a little bit of scrappy binding in there if you wanted to. Otherwise, if you wanted to do a jelly roll rug brace or whatever you want to do it with, it's a nice little something to have as 2.5 inch scraps.
John, I was about to say the same. If you are going to make several quilts like this,
But
and you're
even
going to end up with like
bags,
2.5 inch,
Exactly.
you just keep rolling those together. You've got your own
Exactly.
homemade
But
jelly roll.
If you're going to do a jelly roll rug, or you're going to do one of the
Yes.
beautiful bags, one of the Camden
basket,
bags,
or yeah.
anything like that, hang on to them. It's just a case of I showed you just that you know what you've got left over,
And
then that
Natasha-
minimal
yeah.
amount of scrap that you've got left
Natasha
over.
has done a design roll pattern as well. So for those of you who wanted to make a design roll rug,
There you go.
there is a pattern. I'll make sure that that's in the collection for today as well.
Perfect. Now, I was not picky on how I did this. All I did was I piled all of my small rectangles together. You need 2 of those, and I put my big rectangle together. The only thing you need to do, this is really important, is I keep them consistent, because it is so easy to get these the wrong way round, and then you've got to unpick. It's not worth it. Or for me, you do it how you wish. I always have this on my feed dogs, the long bit on my feed dogs. So we're now going to start by taking 2 random small pieces over here, and I am going to sew these 1/4 inch down one of the one of the short sides, not long sides, short sides.
Oh yes, let's not get our long and short mixed up, John.
So all I'm doing now, what I do is I make sure that I rotate where I put my solids, that we've not got a big bank of solids in one way, so you alternate. If your solids one way, the other, one way in one block, it's a different way in another block. And I just literally have randomly selected 8 of these small rectangles in order to have them laying out. You can do them, you can cut everything out and lay it all out if you want to. For me, I love this project because it is so quick, easy, simple. I don't need to think about anything, and it's just really beautiful, mindless sewing. And because it's so fat quarter friendly, you don't need to use the K fabrics. You can use any fabrics you like. There are some gorgeous motor fabrics. You can do whatever tickles your fancy on that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just laying these all out open like this. I am going to rotate that one round only because I want them to be different. So there we go. And now I've got my long pieces over here. So all I'm going to do is this is going to be on the feet, on the bottom, on my feed dog. So I'm going to lay a piece on top of that. And all of the pieces that I put through the machine will have the long rectangle going towards the feed dog. That is when you're putting your blocks together. That is when you're building your block up like this. The entire process will have the feed dogs having the longer strip at the bottom. And you'll see what I mean when I start putting these four blocks together.
Lovely.
Now, I did say that I put the whole quilt together, 2/3 of the quilt together in 40 minutes. You can see I'm a very quick sewer, and you can see how quickly this is going through the sewing machine. It can be this quick. You can take as long as you like on it.
That's beautiful to make like this, isn't it? You can take your time over it, or you can get it
Exactly.
done.
But it's a case of we sometimes end up in instances where we do actually need to make a quilt quite quickly. For whatever reason. I had a lady very sadly come into my shop recently bringing a quilt in for one of her very good friends who has cancer. And she wanted to make something. She'd made something really beautiful for her. So we were able to then get that quilted for her quite quickly. So it's just there are times where you do need to make something quite quickly. And this is the perfect way of choosing really beautiful fabric. And in a way, I suppose it is a lazy version of quilting because you are letting the fabric do the work for you. And now we're on to our fourth block. Now you can see I've just put 4 blocks together in that short time of me whittering away.
You, John, Witter John,
Constantly,
never done.
sweetheart. Constantly, don't make me get my bubbles out at you. Should I say Emily's bubbles?
I seriously feel you need one of these in your life. Great big bubble
What do you mean? I've already ordered it. While you were introducing everything, I was on Amazon ordering it.
Oh. You know you can get a bubble machine, John.
No, I think that's a step too far.
No, you know, seriously, I think this would be a thing
I don't
for
think it's a
you.
bad idea. I really don't. So there's 1 block. There's 2 blocks. There's 3 blocks. And there's 4 blocks.
We did say this one was speedy.
It really is. So this is what a block looks like. I will show that to you there. No, you can do it there.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you're doing. You've got 2 small rectangles, 1 big rectangle. Now, you should press these as you go. I am pretending I'm in a competition and I'm in a race, so I'm not going to do it.
Are you sure?
As I said to you before, you make sure that the long rectangle is at the bottom, and then you've got your rectangle, your smaller rectangles at the top when you feed it through your sewing machine. We're now making 2 blocks, 1 block become 2, sorry, 2 blocks become 1. I knew I'd get that right eventually. I just paid a little bit of attention. Okay, so that is 2 blocks put together.
Amazing.
And we just lost the salvages onto the floor.
Oh,
And
no.
now we've got
You don't need them, John.
our second series. Now, one thing over here, before we move from the overhead, you can see over here, those are going to go together. Now, that would not bother me in the slightest in the quilt I made previously, but I know it'll bother some people, so I'm just going to move that over there. Okay? But then we've got this over there. So, annoyingly, this is one of those ones where you will end up with a little bank of fabric, and I'm going to leave it there because I love this fabric. I think it's beautiful. And again, just like before, we're keeping the long rectangle along the feed dogs and the short rectangles on the top as you feed it through the sewing machine. This is where I have chosen to do it randomly, and you may not want to have your fabrics touching, A lot of people who make quilts like this really don't like their fabrics touching, and that's absolutely fine. All I would say then is lay it out first how you want your quilt to go, and remember, it's your quilt, you must do it how you choose, but you're going to be kind to yourself. If you make an error, it's okay, you tried it, and I'm sure everybody's going to love it. So there we go, we've now made 4 blocks into 2 big blocks.
Amazing, John.
And I'm keeping my long bit over there.
Quilts are meant to have errors.
Exactly. But
It's
some people get a little
true.
bit annoyed by it.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to sew those 2 together
Wow.
over there. Now this is almost a third of a quilt. Now remember I said to you before as well, long rectangle on the feed dogs,
Yes.
short rectangles at the top.
Perfect.
I do feel like I'm in a little race here with myself.
This is like speed quilting.
It really is.
Speed piecing going on right here.
Okay. So we've now got 2, 4, 6, 8. And as if by magic, here's one I prepared earlier.
Well done, you
You
John.
can lay that out. I have decided I'm going to put it that way round
Lovely.
because I love this colour and I want it in the middle.
Perfect.
So all I'm doing now is putting that on top of each other as we've done the whole way along. Long rectangle against your feed dogs, 2 short rectangles at the top.
Great. And John, for those people who perhaps haven't made a quilt top before
Yep,
and are really anxious about it,
yep.
if you can sew a straight line, you can put this one together, can't
Well,
you?
I think before you even go any further with that, what you need to learn with quilting, the most important thing, it's not about being accurate, it's about being consistent. And in this example, this quilt, if you can keep a consistent seam,
Yes.
ideally 1/4 of an inch, this project is perfect for you because it is exactly the way you can start learning and practicing your 1/4 inch, doing everything really simply. And as you say, as long as you can sew a single seam,
Yeah.
you can make this quilt very, very easily. And it's quite a quick one to do as well, that even if you are going to make it and you perhaps got some less expensive fabric that you want to try it with, you can see just in the time I've been waffling away, oh, have I lost a seam?
Oh,
Oh, the
bobbin chicken.
dreaded bobbin!
Bobbin chicken and lost.
Oh!
Do you know how to wind this one?
I can safely go with, I don't think so.
Haven't you got
That
this
is 100% a Gemma problem!
Oh, I don't know how to do this machine.
Why are you asking
this
me?
This isn't my machine. You've got one of these.
I haven't got one of these.
Oh,
I
thought you
have got
had.
one of these, but I've never actually used it. I just stroke it. Right, what could
Fine.
possibly go
But
wrong?
if not, we will have to call on someone fabulous, you know,
Jane!
aka someone else
Jane!
to come in. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I am
Oh
going
my
to have
goodness.
to make friends with this machine. I've not used it actually.
Oh, it's
So
lovely.
for those who aren't familiar with our beautiful workhorse, that is the, well, this one's the TL 2020, isn't it? So this is.
Are you
the-
asking me questions while I'm trying to figure out how to wind a bobbin on a brand new machine
This
to
is the
me?
Platinum Edition Dukey semi-industrial machine. We used to previously and will again sell the TL 2200, but this one's a Platinum Edition. Very beautiful, and it just does a straight stitch. Let's see if you can do this bobbin, John, and if not, there we go. Ah, John, it's as we would expect, isn't it? It's like cooking in someone else's kitchen or driving somebody else's car, isn't it? When someone throws you the keys. and
That's
you
not what
catch
I'm worried
those
about. It's
keys.
the rethreading of the lovely
Oh.
beast.
Well, this is true. But you
It's all
catch
right.
someone's keys and you
And I
suddenly
am
go,
being silly. I know exactly how to do this. It was just that they've changed everything slightly.
because you have got one of these.
I've
not
got the
platinum
old
one.
version
Yeah.
of it, yeah. The old version,
old
darling.
version.
Vintage.
This machine is a workhorse. It just does a straight stitch. That's all it does. No twiddly bits. No
Well, I've never
zigzags, no
used the
nothing.
twiddly bits, to be
Just
fair.
a straight stitch, but it does it.
One
really
thing
well.
though, sorry to interrupt you,
Yeah,
always pull your thread out from the bottom so that you don't mess with the tension. There you go, ma'am.
Very good. Very good. Top tip. Snip out your thread, pull it out from the bottom. You're so right. How many times do you hear that horrible noise as people pull it from the top? It's not nice, is it?
Again, you're talking to me while I'm trying to do something. You forget I am but a simple boy, and a simple boy can only do one thing at a time. Concentrate, talk, or waft. Pick one.
John.
Pick one.
Concentrate, talk, or waft.
Pick one.
I credit you with multi-talented.
I have to say, it's quite warm in this room, and it's actually really lovely with my top part of my body against this air conditioner. I might be down here a while.
You're down next to the fan, aren't you? It's lovely.
There we go. Right.
This would be where you're wishing you were wearing shorts and flip-flops.
And I wouldn't inflict my legs and everything on anybody else, and definitely not my feet after the day of Festival
That's
of
the
Quilt.
beauty. It's like the newsreaders, and they look all smart with their jacket and their shirt and their tie, and then from the waist downwards. Did you see? I think it was Richard Bacon, and he was on the morning television programme, and he was chatting away, looking very smart with his blazer and his tie and his shirt, and he had to pop over to one of the cameramen at one point, and they filmed him doing it, and he'd got some jersey, shorts on, and a pair of slippers.
To be fair, 95% of the time I do wear slippers.
Yeah.
This is the smallest needle I have ever seen in my entire life.
There is, I'm sure, an automatic needle threader on there, however.
Is there? Oh God, there it is.
You got it.
Oh my goodness.
John's got one of these machines. John, however, also has how many other machines, John?
43.
43.
44.
So,
Andrew, you didn't hear that. I didn't go shopping this weekend.
How to use one machine at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gorgeous Gemma. The gorgeous Gemma PT.
Goes in the side.
See, it's not just... I did that as well, but I couldn't get it in because that needle is so fine.
I couldn't get it in.
Should we do a Jenny Raymond and lick the needle?
Oh, don't. Oh, I saw Jenny actually.
Oh, she's amazing.
At festival. I do love her. She's hilarious. I have told her she needs to come back on. Go on. In you go. There
She's got a new book out.
Well, this is the thing. And we love Jenny. Oh, do you know, I've just put that straight in.
We'll just pretend there's no machine problem
again.
and I'll just show you this bit over here.
Hey.
Technical issues.
We could go into overhead actually, John. You see?
Well, no, because I think it's time. I need to entertain my audience.
Oh, John.
Now,
Can I
as a vote, who thinks when I come and do my hello, I should go like this? Hello. Come on, tell me that's not amazing.
This is where I need some tweezers because my nails.
Okay, I just hit Gemma. I'm going to die. But look how cute
Have I got bubble mixture all down my back now?
Nope, not yet. John, some.
No.
Honestly, I think being a kid has got to be the best thing in the entire world where you're allowed to use these legally. I knew I'd get to waft with them. I can safely say Emily is my favourite person today and on Bank Holiday Monday for abandoning her little unicorn.
Yes, she loves all things unicorn.
It's not just me, is it? I don't feel quite so bad now.
I had it through, and then I went to take my fingers off because it was through, and I've done it again now. There we go. But my little...
Wait, when it's...
There we are.
Woo! Are you sure it's right?
Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out now.
My fingers are sweaty, so when I let go of the thread, I pulled it out with me.
Of course it is.
It's just... It's there now, John. Let's hope it works.
Thank you, Gemma.
Do you want to try it on something that isn't your quilt top? No, he does not. He just wants to do it.
I'm going to go with no. And I'm going to go with I should have. Nope, that's immaculate. It's a Juki, of course it is.
Of course it is.
So there is a third of our quilt, and as if by magic, one has been prepared earlier.
This is fabulous.
2/3 of the quilt.
Which took me 45 minutes.
For every single show you ever watched on here, and this is no disrespect to anybody, you've never ever seen a quilt top come together this quickly.
No.
Now, what I have done in here, if Gemma, thank you very much for doing that, you will see I have kept all of the long rectangles in a line. However, if you look on here, I haven't got all of the long rectangles in a line here. All I did was the center row, I switched it round so that I've got the short rectangles with the long rectangles, and where the short rectangles are here, I've got a long rectangle there. You can rotate the middle row with the greatest of pleasure. There is no right or wrong. You do what works for you. I am going to put a beautiful long rainbow there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put it over here. And I'm going to put it that way. Yep, I'm happy with that.
Fabulous long rainbow here.
Exactly.
But it's only like a double length because they're two short lengths, which makes a
longer one.
length.
And that's where you can just make your decisions which way round you want to do them.
Yes.
There is no right or wrong. Do what works for you.
John, this pattern of yours would be so handy to have in your stash for Like,
but we've
all
all
you need is fat quarters.
But all you look at is every single time you bought a fat quarter bundle,
Yes.
you keep thinking, oh, I don't know what to make with
No,
that. And then you've got a
exactly.
bundle of fat quarters,
Yeah.
and then you've got a bundle of fat quarters, which is lovely,
Yeah.
but then you never get to the point where you actually find something that you love and you want to make with it.
And I know quite often we'll sell a 15 fat quarter bundle or a 20 fat quarter bundle or a 10
Exactly.
fat quarter bundle. This bundle that you've got here, what you use for the bulk of this quilt top without the borders,
Is 12.
is 12 fat quarters. Yes, here we've gone with 8K 2 plain, or 8K facet collective and 4 plain.
Yeah.
Why do I keep doing this? I see the words, the wrong one comes out of my mouth. But yes, 8 and 4 makes 12.
That's the one.
It could be a different combination if you wanted,
But
couldn't
exactly, you can make this wider, you can make this longer, you can adjust it. You know, if you've got 30 fat quarters or 24 fat quarters, you could double the size. You could do 6 rows of the same amount. You can do it however you choose. There's no right or wrong. Now, one thing I will say is as I'm putting these together, I am noticing that my seams are not meeting, and that is because I did one standing up and the other one sitting down.
no.
So you will notice that there is a slight gap with regards to seams. I'm fine with that. I am not precious about my seams because I'm a firm believer when it's finished, it's better than not being finished. So I'm going to have a few seams missing. So again, age-old thing, if you are going to be making this quilt, or any quilt, make sure you use the same machine, the same cutting mat, the same ruler, cut everything out together. It just makes that little chance of everything lining up perfect, being a little bit more accurate, because here I can tell already the seams that I've done on this machine are a lot bigger than the seams I did when I was sitting down using Jane's machine. Don't tell Jane I was using her machine, by the way.
Oh, no. She definitely does not need to know. No.
No. So that is just one of those little things that you've just got to get used to with the joys of telly stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely. And John, we have talked about our beginner quilters, and that's something that they wouldn't necessarily know. If you are making a quilt, try to make sure that you use the same machine and that the same person sews the whole quilt as well, if at all possible, because you may find that even on the same machine, 2 people sewing, you can differ your quarter inch ever so slightly, can't you?
Exactly. And even at different times that you sew a project, I find I've got a lot of UFOs, and some of them I started right at the beginning of my sewing journey, and I have obviously, my experience has gone a little bit up, and the stuff I did back then, I do look at myself and goodness me, how did you accept, wow, okay. And I think I try and be kind about it because I've obviously learnt a lot more and my pieces now are a lot different. Yeah. But it's very hard not to go, gosh, that was a mistake.
Yeah. And this is why it's good to start the project, work on it, but get it done within a time frame if you can.
So we're going to show you now the full centre section.
Yes.
Now, as you can tell, that is so gorgeous. I love the fact Jem was trying to help.
I am.
You're so fabulous. So what we're doing now, you can see now we've got that central section all put on, and I just love it.
Gorgeous.
And this is where I meant that when you come to do the quilting, when you do the quilting design on here, you will very easily be able to see the quilting on here, because I don't know what colour you would quilt this in, but I'd be looking at a light blue or a light green or a grey to go all the way through. If you're feeling really bold, perhaps you wanted to go with one of these beautiful pomegranate magenta colours, that would look really good. But now the next step in the pattern is you're going to get your inner border, and you're going to sew 2 pieces of these together. Now I know you're not going to need 2 full pieces, and you're going to sew these on the left hand side and the right hand side of the quilt. And if you don't know which side the left hand side and the right hand side is, the left hand side are your long rectangles and the right hand side are the short rectangles.
There we go.
Ask me how I know. Check. The seam is on the wrong side and the right side of this goes on the right side of your fabric.
Lovely.
That's quite a long bit to unpick if you get it wrong.
Oh yes, John, that would be.
Ask me how I know.
Oh, these things are best learned through
my mistakes, not yours.
We try.
Exactly.
We make those
so
mistakes,
you don't need to.
and we hopefully make sure you don't need to.
Now, only because I am doing this standing up and acrobatically, I've gone back and forth there, just to try and make sure that everything stays together.
John, by our standards, this is acrobatic, isn't it?
Sorry?
By our standards, this is acrobatic.
Oh, it
this
is.
level of standing.
Trust me, the fact I'm still standing after what my feet look like at the moment.
I know.
Yes.
Festival was wonderful though, wasn't it?
Oh, every part of it was lovely.
And for those who don't know what festival is, crikey, Festival of Quilts. And it was at the NEC.
You wouldn't have liked it. You'll have to come next year and check. It was amazing.
Yes.
But Gemma, hang on. Let me get to this half point here. Did you know, because I'm quite a seasoned person at the Festival of Quilts, I think
Yes.
I know quite a lot about the Festival of Quilts.
You do.
Did you know about the gold passes?
Well,
And the silver passes and the bronze
I
passes? Did you know about
saw
all the
your
VIP
little
things?
live.
The VIPs. VIP, darling, VIPs. You too can be a VIP. But what I loved about it is they sort your parking out. You get
Oh, really?
lunch. You get a little glass of Prosecco at any time of the day that you want it. You get drinks. You get a nice little area to go into. You get the gorgeous David
Fantastic.
looking after you. Oh, it was glorious. And I never knew about these things.
And now you know, that's it.
I don't
isn't
know
it?
what I shouldn't actually tell people because that means everybody else is going to come then as well.
Exactly.
But it was really lovely to be able to just have a little space where you can go and just digest the beauty of everything that you've seen.
Amazing. I'm going to admit now, John,
You what?
I wasn't sure about this orange. However, now I'm seeing it on the quilt. It's absolutely perfect.
It's all right.
It's just, it's absolutely the right thing to do.
Now, I do not suggest that this is the way you should do it in the pattern. I have given you the size. I have suggested that you press your quilt before you put the borders on. I am not trying to show you a demonstration in the quickest time possible to entertain you on a bank holiday Monday whilst writing said pattern. So please bear in mind, I don't suggest you do this. Now, the thing that is so important when you are doing any borders on your quilt, I highly, and I'm going to make it again, highly recommend you measure the quilt top before you put the border on, and make sure you measure the size of this bit that you're sewing on, and you make the fabric meet, because a lot of beginner quilters, when they do put borders on, what you do is you put the border at the base of your sewing machine. And I'm going to show you what you're doing, exactly like this. You're doing exactly what I do, okay? And I'm going to show you now. Make sure I've got that seam right. So this is what most people will do. And I'm not criticizing. It is okay, just so that you know, if your quilt borders ever have a wobble in it, this is why. Okay, can we go into the front and foremost? So what I always do is I line this up here. I've not measured anything. I've lined this up here. I put that down. I've got a lot of excess at the bottom. You can probably see that flapping around there. And now I'm going to sew this on. Once I've checked that I've got it the right way around, I'm going to sew this on. Now, what most beginners do is they pull it, feed it, they manipulate the fabric in such a way that you end up with a ripple in your border. So I do not suggest under any circumstances doing what I'm doing now. I suggest that you measure the quilt, measure your border, and make sure that they are the same size. I'm not a huge fan of pins, but you will find that even when I am putting a border on and I've measured it, I then line everything up halfway. I line it up at the end where it's going, pull it taut, go to the middle, and I make sure that the piece is going to match, because you won't end up with any ripples. If you do it normally the way that I'm doing it now, there is nothing wrong with that, but if you end up with a ripple in your border, it's just important to know that that is possibly why that ripple is happening. When you're doing a small border on the inside and then a larger outer border, if you have got a little bit of a ripple on your inner border, it does mean that that ripple will accentuate on your outer border. So it does become one of those things of, if you do make a mistake with the first border, it's going to make it a lot worse in borders 2, and if you're doing a third one as well. So do try and take care on it. If you are going to do it, what I would suggest is just let the feed dogs do their job. Don't pull it, don't tag on it, just literally line everything up like that, have all of the weight being supported over here, and just let your machine take them through evenly as you go along. Don't drag on one end or hold or pull through on the back. Just let the feed dogs do the work for you if you are going to not measure the pieces as you put them down.
Top tips, John.
But I do suggest to everybody, even though I don't do it myself, I do suggest measure your borders and get them right. And if you haven't got them right, that's fine. If you are taking it to be long arm quilted, measure your quilt accurately and just tell your long armer that the one side's a little wider than the other, or one's longer than the other, and then they can then compensate for that when they put the quilt on the frame.
So John, I mean, talking about long arm quilting, that's really, really interesting, because there are many, many people who have, even if they've been quilting for a while, they might not have ever used the services of a long arm quilter. And to be able to send your quilt off to get long arms.
Exactly. It's a real privilege.
Transform it, can't it?
It really does. And I have to say that I'm very privileged when I am able to get quilts in from people. I find it a great responsibility to try and take something that they've spent, in some cases I do a lot of English paper piecing quilting for people. And those are really special because people have been making those for some of them 20 years. And it's a big responsibility to have, but it's a nice way of being able to do the calls with people. If they can't drop it off, they post it in, and you do various video consultations, and you check what it is that they want, check that the thread color you've chosen is correct, send them some samples to make sure that they're getting the right color that they want. It's really important to be able to have something perfect for them. Because for the best will in the world, when you do quilt a machine on a quilt on a domestic machine, you are going to end up with the odd ripple here, the pucker here. It's impossible not to, because you haven't got constant tension on your machine to
especially
get it
with
right.
a quilt of a particular size as
Exactly.
well. The bigger the quilt gets, the more challenging it becomes to quilt that on a domestic machine, doesn't it?
Exactly. Now here, all I'm doing is I'm going to push my seams in one direction. I've put my border on the bottom, and I'm just going to turn these as I get close to them.
So John, when someone sends a quilt to be long-armed, do they generally already sandwich the quilt before
Not
it comes,
at all.
or do they send you the wadding and the backing? And
check with the long armour that you're using. Some people do prefer it because they're using different frames. For the methodology that I use and the machine I use, what I do is I roll your back on first, measure your back, make sure I've got enough space, because whenever you put a back on a quilt and you're getting it long armed, you do need about 6 to 8 inches more in space for the machine to be able to be anchored properly, the quilt to be anchored, and for it to then be able to quilt everything really neatly, because the throat of the machine is really big, but when you come to the mechanism, the actual base of the quilting machine is about that big where it's actually stitching in. So when you come to the edges of your quilt and you haven't got your side clamps on, you run the risk of potentially having the odd pleat or that, or so, if your backing is identical to the front. And for the best will in the world, fabric stretches. So when you put tension on the back, it's very likely that it will stretch a little bit, but it might also shrink a bit. And if you've got different tensions on the front and the back, what has happened once to me before is the lady who brought the quilt in, her back was 1 inch bigger than the front. And when I got to the bottom, there wasn't any fabric left for me to quilt the top onto.
Oh, crikey.
Because the top had stretched differently to the back, because the back had a slight sateen in it, which felt beautiful, but did leave me with a slight problem of trying to quilt it out. But even that was fine, because what I did was I quilted as far as I could go, and then sewed on an extra piece of the backing fabric that they had on another piece. And then I just used my machine to mirror out the design that I'd done on my domestic machine for that section.
Lovely.
But it's a very good learning curve, because from that day on, I have never accepted a quilt that is less than 6 inches, the back being 6 inches bigger than the front.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, John.
Exactly. But again, check with your long armour. Different long armours ask for different things.
It's just trying to ensure the best possible chance of success, isn't it?
Exactly, because you're paying a large sum of money usually to have these quilts quilted. You want to make sure that you're getting the best value for money, but also what you exactly want, and making your long arm quilter's life easier, so that when you do come to visit them, they don't go, oh gosh, hello, nice to see you again, when in fact they're cringing, thinking, how on earth am I going to quilt that quilt? Look! Border.
Look at this.
It
I
really
just feel
does
like we need
work.
to just hoof this out a sec.
It really does. So this is just the inner border, but you can tell that gorgeous little pop of colour here really highlights all there.
Of course it does.
So we've got one more border to go. Now you can see, just even doing the borders, that's been really quick.
It's
hoping
such
everybody's
a lovely
still with
quick
us.
make. It really is. But this is one of those patterns that you just need in your armoury.
Exactly.
Because, do you know what?
And it's such a reasonable price as well.
You know, gosh, if you had to sort of isolate or anything and you weren't feeling, you know, too poorly, but you needed to stay in, this is one of those things you could just work away at. And then actually, these beautiful spaces to practice some free motion if you wanted as well.
But what's also great is...
I'm a bit obsessed with this, John, you can tell.
The free motion's a great idea, but the good thing with the free motion... But having been to the festival, did you see all the different colour threads people were using in each quilt?
And a lot of the quilts I was looking at, some of the piecing really wasn't very complicated.
No.
It was all in the quilting.
Exactly.
Which has got me fascinated now. We've got some lovely free motion books, actually, that you can purchase that give you... a million and one different design ideas to have a play at quilting yourself, you know. But a project like this...
This is now the third machine our little baby has gone through. We've got it. You know what I love is that this will go out as one seamless little video. But what you haven't seen, boys and girls, is there has been a good 20-minute break since you last saw us. We've changed the machine. Tasha's headed off for where she needs to go, because obviously she's got to have her bits and bobs for where she's going.
That's her little work.
And that's her baby. It's her baby.
So we now have the DX7, which is great, actually.
It's the third machine. I know.
You started this project out on the UX8.
The UX8 is they're all lovely.
The UX8 you can watch YouTube on. It's all there. It's amazing.
You what?
Yeah. You've got a big screen.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I could have been watching Jane while working on Jane's machine.
So the UX8, which you haven't seen on here today, but John prepped the majority of the equipment on that machine in like 45 minutes. I mean, it was so fast. In Jane's room, he was working on that one this morning. That machine, you have an inbuilt screen, all the manuals on there, which is phenomenal. But you also can watch YouTube. So for those of you who are watching this on their UX8s, because there are viewers who do, and they
That
comment
is
and they
wonderful.
say, I'm just casually making a quilt whilst watching you and Jane on the UX8. Nice to see you.
Oh yeah.
So yes, he started out the project on the UX8. We've done the first part of the demonstration on the TL2020, which is a semi-industrial. The machine he's working with now, that is here, John, is the DX7. Now the DX7, I love this machine. It's a great little workhorse. Brilliant. I bet you got these. This is what I told you to get. It's a lovely compact machine. I've got the NX7.
Oh right.
Is a big boy.
You're just going through all the alphabet, aren't you?
I know, exactly.
So
they're all built at phenomenal quality because Juki are responsible. I think it's about 60% of the world's industrial machines.
Really?
Yeah. They are really beautiful quality, really strong built machines. So
have I now got a border on all four sides? Just check, have I got all four sides? Perfect. Now
a journey through the Juki.
exactly. I love it. So just as we started on our left and right, I'm now going to do again my left and right. This is the outer border, and we're popping that down on the left and right.
For the outer border.
Of course, how can we all have a moment for this?
Now,
look at it.
Jumble is Brandon, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I think Jumble was Brandon. I think. You know, it's probably Caves. He's probably there like, no.
How dare you?
How dare you say that Brandon designed that? I really love Jumble.
They're all brilliant. They really are.
It seems rude to call these blenders, but this is where
no, it's beautiful.
Cave's going with it, really. And, you know, Cave Facet Collective are going with it. These are their blenders.
It's gotten a bit big now, boys and girls. That's what I call wafting. Wafting as I go.
John, I'm going to do a close-up of our friend, the DX7, just as soon as my tech wakes up and lets me change the camera angle. There we go. But we are lucky to have an armoury of machines here at the test Great, it's got a lot of stitches on it as well, straight in front of your face, peeping at you there, John.
Can I just say, I want Natasha's machine back. It was a lot faster.
Now that is the thing with the semi-industrial. If you want a straight stitch and you want it to go super fast,
Bom, bom, bom.
because people ask, you know, why would I want more than one machine? Why would I want the semi-industrial if it only does a straight stitch? You know, all those sorts of things, but they all serve a purpose. If you want a good all-rounder and you don't have a huge amount of space, this DX7 is superb. If you've got a bit more space available to you and you want a larger throat area for your quilt, want a straight stitch,
Oh,
and
definitely.
you want it to power on through and go super fast and no bother, then it's your TL range for sure. Because like you say, Angie, you've got this one turned down slower. You can turn it up a little
Oh,
faster.
tell me.
There's a little tortoise and a hare. And if you go towards the hare, I'll speed it up a little bit for you.
Good, because my foot is so sore. I'm really struggling sewing standing up today. I can't tell you how sore my foot is. I may only get 2 of these borders on, please, because I am struggling.
Anything, John, today? Because it's bank holiday Monday.
Not going to go that
Some
fast.
fabulous things going on, aren't there, on bank holiday Monday?
Oh, I'm not leaving my house.
You're not?
I'm not leaving my house. I'm sitting in my garden. I'm watching all the television that I've missed and just spending time. Oh, I'm not spending time with my husband. He's going away. He's off to Vietnam. Yeah, yes.
He's very busy and important.
He's a very, very, very loves his job and he's doing really well. And I won't deny, I'm actually, and I love the festival and I love all of that. But I will say I am quite looking forward to going and sitting in my one of my new studios, because we now have 3 in the house. Did you see Tula Pink talk about her hand sewing room the other day? Talk about house envy. Oh, you know,
hand sewing room.
she has a hand sewing room. A hand sew.
Can I just go into
No, no.
Oh, we're not allowed yet.
I now have a hand sewing room.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do. Apparently we need to have a guest bedroom, but I'm like, nope, they can stay in a hotel. I am not a B&B. I have a hand sewing room.
You're terrible, John.
No, but they're beautiful hotels around here. They can go and stay there.
As and when I come to visit you,
You can stay in a hotel. Oh, you can show a beautiful caravan.
I'd sleep in the hand sewing room very happily.
Happily, but I'm not going to show you yet.
In the night.
Exactly, I'm not going to show you yet. I'm going to put the other
Not
border on
allowed to go into
here.
overhead yet. He wants to
Not
put the other
yet.
border on. His
Gotta
foot
get it
was
done.
sore, but no,
Now I'm going to do one border so you can see a corner. But I'm not going to go to the end because I've got to sew the other side on.
Okay. Oh,
Thank you, ma'am.
on borders. It's not allowed. Not allowed, you know.
I didn't actually realise you could hurt your foot as badly as I've hurt mine just simply by walking and admiring quilts. I couldn't believe it was so silly. But going from 2,000 steps a day to 83,000, I think it was, over 4 days, 5 days. Yep, we're going to be... You know how everybody trains for a marathon?
Sure.
I'm starting my training now for Festival of Quilts 2023.
We look for a reason to train for something, and actually, just general health and well-being.
Well, yes.
Be, fit and well.
I was really touched. So many people told me that they could see that I'd lost weight, which I was really pleased about. I think we've all been a bit healthier of late, I won't deny.
Mind you, I think as well, the screen does add some inches on, because I had a few people say, oh, you're slimmer in real life.
Rubbish, you're beautiful, Gemma. You must never question that. You look gorgeous. And of all the people you know, if you didn't, who would tell you? It's true. We need friends who'll be honest with us.
I have a few of those.
Indeed you do. Whether you want it or not.
I did have one particular lady, and I'm ever so sorry I can't remember which of the lovely ladies I met that said this. And I've got my waffle dress on the festival, and my big waffle sleeves. And she came hurrying up to me, and she said, I'm so sorry, can I speak to you? And I said, yes, of course, I'd love to speak to you. What's your name? She told me. Oh, I'm so giving to speak to you, John. It's terrible. You can't remember the one name. Then she said, I saw you earlier as well. And she said, you don't walk. You just
Waft.
glide.
You do. You do.
Just glide everywhere. I don't glide. This morning I did.
She's a bit like one of those nuns.
I don't glide everywhere. This morning I lolloped into work. I was. I lolloped my way in this morning. So rest assured, I don't always glide. I sometimes lollop.
I can't remember. Right, no, we're going to do one more. I'm determined now. I'm going to do this side now. Going to do this side now. You knew I would. I'm not putting the bottom one on.
Overhead, am I?
Nope, not yet.
But you won't let me.
Not yet. Not yet. Almost there.
Keep going to press a button.
Almost
Not
there.
seen before. I control the cameras.
Oh, ho, ho. You control everything.
Well, I try.
You try.
Doesn't always work.
Well, I don't know. You do quite well.
Doesn't always work. I'm not controlling much today. I told you no bubbles. We've had bubbles.
Tell me the bubbles didn't make the show, though. Everybody's going to be asking for bubbles going forward. Here's a, girls and boys, if you like the idea of the bubbles and you would like the bubbles for every one of my show, do send an email into info@Natasha Makes and someone will help. Oh, no, that's SJ.
There's only a few of us, so we do
I've got this image of coming in next time I'm in and having all of these emails printed out waiting for me to say, you deal with that and you're not having any bubbles. You love the bubbles, I know you do. Alrighty, I'm going for another 5, 4, 3.
Oh, look, John. It's such a shame that you haven't got to me one final piece of pie.
Oh, you would never do that to me. You'd never do that to me.
It's only next to the car.
It's alright, I'll buy it in one of your half meters. Right, that's it. I'm finishing this quilt on the show. I'm not doing this. I can't. My foot is so sore. No, I can't. I'm going to this seam and then we're done. I know you are. I've known you long enough. This foot. I cannot believe how sore my foot is. I honestly feel like a really old man because every bits of me are falling. Right, put your arm up as high as you can go. Oh, hang on. No, wait. This isn't right. It isn't.
Isn't it?
It isn't.
It isn't.
It isn't. It's supposed to go sideways.
What you on about? Oh, have you put the wrong board on?
No, I haven't. We'll show it this way. Anyway, you can go from there. But look how amazing that looks with that border.
It's beautiful.
The quilt comes in at just, it's around 72, 73 inches square. It's a really, really quick make, and you can see why we chose the Cafe. If you lower it down, you can see these are the fabrics I used in a previous collection of Cafes. We've definitely upgraded the colours, definitely upgraded the fabrics and the designs for the new Hot Cafe collection. And the Cool Cafe collection, I don't know about you, but a blue and green one like that, it's just gorgeous. And the great thing with it is, I know you've got fat quarters of your own and you can build your own. If you love a Cafe half metre heaven, you can end up doing 2 of them with some half meters. It'd be lovely. It'd be really good.
Absolutely.
And I promise I will have this finished by the time of the show and I will put pictures in the comments when it's done. I'm just making sure I hang on to that.
Stop pulling your leg.
Very sore leg.
Not kind. I know this.
You can pull anything you like of mine, Gemma. And don't forget as well, you can get all your 2.5-inch strips on that. Tash has that amazing design rug pattern, and she's also got a bag pattern for these as well, doesn't she?
She's got the design rug pattern, which I'll pop in the collection.
Because what I love is, with these, the 2.5-inch strips, sorry Jem, I know you were trying to talk them. I just love it because when you lay these all out, if you did 2 patterns and a solid, even if you just create a little sewing machine cover, anything like that.
Let's not forget there's an option to use these to make a cushion.
Exactly.
You know, you could make cushions to match your quilts and
exactly.
It would look fabulous.
And it is just such, and I cannot believe that you've got enough to make that gorgeous big quilt in this kit, and then you've got this left over as well. And there is a lot of fabric left over.
There is.
I think there's a lot there.
Great.
My little tiny bit on the end, which you probably can't see in the overhead, but there we go.
Oh yeah, we should.
Probably put them all in the wrong place, haven't I? Probably are.
Oh, it would help if it actually did jump where I wanted it to. There we are. Look at that.
You can see all of that there, and you can see they start there.
Lovely.
If I move it down a little bit, you can see you've got all of those.
There is also a magenta plain piece that it hasn't made it onto the mat, which is lovely.
But you can see it's just such a nice, beautiful colourway there. I think it's just something really pretty to be able to make something very simple, very quick, very beautiful. And I can't wait to see what you make with them all. Send us lots of pictures. You've got the Natasha Makes community page on the page there. Please, any makes you've made, pop in there.
Go to the Natasha Makes website, and at the top you'll see it says Community Makes. If you click on there and upload your picture, that will show your make to everybody. So it's
The whole world.
permission to have that published on our website, and anyone can view it.
But it's nice when you do, because I love the fact that people come up with different colourways
I do too.
and different ideas, and the colours out there and different fabrics, especially the fabrics that you selling as well. It's just beautiful.
It's just
absolutely
lovely.
gorgeous.
If you're a little more private and you just want to show us, then again, you can pop your photograph on an email and send it to info@natashamakes.com. And we love to receive your letters and your messages. So thank you for those who take the time. Oh, John.
Tell me they aren't amazing.
You're terrible. Terrible.
Tell me you don't love them.
Oh.
Tell me they're not
We'd
fabulous.
lock him away. We didn't love him so much. Honestly, he hasn't even had a Red Bull today.
That's
Crikey.
probably the problem.
John,
I haven't had a coffee either.
No, right. Very soon,
Very soon.
there is a series coming out.
There is.
A specially recorded series.
It is. Have we got dates yet?
The two of us.
Have
I'm
we got
not going to
dates
disclose
yet?
that. I'd be shot by SJ for less. There is a Tilda Quilt series coming out
It's
very
beautiful.
soon that John and I have presented.
Shall we give them a sneak peek?
No.
No?
No.
You sure? It's just there. Should we?
Clever little quilting
Should we?
it. So keep an eye out for that. SJ will be letting you all know when that series is going out.
Yeah.
And shocker, it might not be in a morning.
It'll be lovely. Whatever it is, it'll be lovely.
It might be gin and tonic o'clock.
It would be.
It's always gin and tonic.
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
Always gin. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Crikey, if I was on the gin, then we'd never have a show. We'd never have a show.
Do you know what I do with my ladies?
Oh.
If we do a sewing day on a Friday,
Yes.
I always get them to bring their little mimosas so we can have mimosas at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mimosas?
Mimosas. Bubbles. Got to be done. Got to be done. But we do that at 10 o'clock in the morning, because if you do it at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can drive home. When you finish at 5 o'clock in the evening.
We can't recommend this.
No, we don't. We don't. But send me photos if you do.
Absolutely. Tomorrow we will have a show. We'll actually be here for that. There's a good thing.
I
And then
won't.
On Wednesday we have Jane with us. Of course we
Woo!
do. Lovely, lovely Jane with her usual magic.
Can I
that
just
she'll
ask-
be weaving for us.
How is it possible, and I'm going to ask you this because it's just us,
Yes.
how is it possible she gets more amazing each week?
What, Jane?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
little bit
witchcraft.
intimidating and a little bit annoying,
I know.
but
I
very
know.
wonderful.
If I didn't love her so much, and if she wasn't training me, we call me the sorcerer's apprentice, because I
You can't
test
possibly do any more.
I test her patterns and things and
Love
have
it.
to play with stuff. But she is a font of knowledge.
She's
She
genius.
just gets better and better. But she is our Stitchy Witch, and she is here on Wednesday.
She's
so
amazing.
we have got a normal showing for you this week. It's just
Yay.
today we pre-recorded. Don't forget to look at the website on the Team Makes page. What am I about? Watch Live page. Crikey Bobs. Scroll down, all the products are there. Don't forget the fabric clearance page. Like we say, sounds insulting, actually just a really good opportunity to get a great deal. And also, we didn't mention earlier, Craft Corner.
No, I don't want you to buy it.
Sparkly wondrousness.
Don't look at Craft Corner, you won't like it. There's nothing there for you.
All sorts of goodies.
You won't like it.
All sorts of goodies. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Have
Lots of love,
Fun!
and bye-bye.